Dan here, coming at you with another Hockey Parenting One-on-One video. Today's video I'm going to talk about being a parent. I didn't go into this early on because I didn't want to come off as preachy, like I know how to parent your kid, your youth hockey player, so I didn't want to start off right off the bat, but I think it's important to talk about just being a parent around the rink and try to be, your youth player's trusted agent, but not their agent. In other words, not trying to drive them to make the pros, right? The whole idea is it's just like any other youth sport. You want them to come out and have fun and enjoy the experience, and you want to enjoy the experience as well. At least I hope so. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day who his kids are both in high school, wrapping up their cross-country careers, can drive themselves now, so his weekends used to be consumed by all that, and now it's poof, gone. It goes by quick. My son aged out, and I can still remember him when he was doing Learn to Skate, but it goes by super fast. I have one more child in the game, in the youth game, and already 7 years in, and have less than that to go before she ages out as well. So enjoy the experience and treat the investment as fun, and I would say nothing more. And I'm as guilty as any other parent out there. I get wrapped up in the investment. We talked about all the equipment, the ice time, all the costs. Again, back when I was talking to my buddy last week, I mentioned how much I was paying for this year. If you include like all the travel bills, hotel expenses, food, all that kind of stuff, and he's like, "Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Remember why you're doing it." And that's exactly right. You're doing it because hopefully your youth hockey player loves playing the game. So support that. Support them for the love of the game. If they're not a fan of the game and it's something that you're trying to, live vicariously through them, say you played before and you still want to be part of the game, fine. Go coach. Go be a manager on a team. They're always looking for volunteers. I know quite a few volunteers that don't have kids in the sport. They just want to continue to pay it forward. They like being around the rink. They like coaching kids. They like being part of youth events. So if you want to do that, great. If your kid is not into it, it's not the sport to force them into, because again, there's just too much investment. It's not like you can go into the basketball court or pick up a ball and play. There's just so much into it. All the cost of the equipment, the ice time. Again, I don't have to. I'm beating a dead horse, but this is not the sport to try to force your child to play. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It's too much effort to drag them to. You just get more frustrated. Don't be a helicopter parent. Do not, and I fall into this trap as well. I did this with my son. I would get on him because I didn't feel like he was putting in a full effort. And again, you're in your mind, you're thinking, after work, I'm tired. I brought you to the rink, and you're screwing around on the ice, not even listening to the coach. You're not putting in 100% effort. I think you can do better. Yada yada yada, and it didn't. It's just that was not his mentality. He was there to have fun. He loves the game, still plays it. He loves the game, but he doesn't love it like I wanted him to love it. Which again, that's him. So he was still enjoying the game, and I should have just enjoyed it right along with him. I think I did. I kind of backed off, and it was a lesson learned for me and my daughter, who's playing today. I do help coach her, so I am a little harder on her because I am actually helping coaching out on the ice. But don't be that bleacher coach, please. This summer, my daughter was playing in a 3-on-3 league, and I kid you not, this parent, their player would go out for a shift, and he'd be screaming at him the whole time at the glass, beating on the glass, screaming at the kid. And I don't even know, I don't know what his background or experience is. Doesn't matter. That's not good, because the kid was paying more attention to him than the game. And then between shifts, he'd scream at him to come over to the bench, and he would yell at him. And he wasn't part of the 3-on-3 league. He was just there with his kid. So it's just a terrible look. I feel bad for the kid because I'm sure he was not enjoying himself at all. So again, back to don't force your kid to do it if they don't want to do it, or if they're just having fun. If they're a rec player, they're a rec player, and that's okay. Even if they're playing travel. I mean, my next video, I'm just going to go into the into the what it takes to make the pros and the percentages, and I'm sure, hopefully nobody's surprised, but there's very few people that are going to make it even to college and get a college scholarship. So all the time and effort you're putting in at this level should just be to enjoy the game, and hopefully they get as much out of it. They enjoy the game, love the game, continue to play the game, and then they're also learning life lessons, working with other players, working with other kids, learning those social skills. I mean, that's the big part of it. They're not going to make the pros, most likely. So don't be a bleacher coach. Just enjoy it. To be honest with you, when I sit in, if I'm not coaching and I sit with some parents, I hear them yelling. The kids can't hear that crap on the ice. They can't. And if they're paying attention to you, they're not paying attention to the game, so it's not good. So please don't do that. Watch out for too much hockey. Too much, like any sport, like any youth activity, they need rest. The kids need rest. If they're playing more than 30 or 40 games a season, that's too much. That's way too much. Remember, NHL professional players who spend that's their job, is to play hockey. So they're constantly conditioning their body, feeding their body with the focus to play hockey games. They don't have school, they don't have other activities, they don't have other things to do. Also, that's breaking down their body. They got other things going on. They don't have to just worry about one thing. So them trying to also play an NHL schedule is ridiculous. Or playing year-round is ridiculous. If you're going to have them play stuff year-round to keep them out of the house and not on the computer all day, then pick another sport. Pick another sport so they can work on different muscle groups and that sort of thing. And also stay conditioned. If that's the goal, you want them to stay conditioned, great. But continually playing hockey leagues and hockey camps and all that stuff, that's just too much. So recommend you not do that to your kids. It's just not going to pay off. Also, back to what I was talking about, if your kids if they're in it for the fun, which I hope they're in it for the fun, every kid's in it for the fun primarily, but if they're really not into it, like it's more of a social thing, they're having a good time, then great. But at the same time, if they ask you to pay for like a $2,000 summer camp in Minnesota, tell them no. I had to do that with my son. I could barely afford the normal ice fees and all the equipment and stuff. I wasn't going to send him to a camp knowing that he was just going to screw around and not get much out of it. To be honest with you, the friends of his that did go to that one, I won't mention the camp, you can look it up. It's like the most popular camp in Minnesota, given in Minnesota. But they would come back, and I didn't see any appreciable upgrade in their abilities, skills, whatnot. So he wasn't missing anything. And like I said, I couldn't afford it, so we didn't do it. And he was mad, but he got over it. The ultimate goal for your player, in my mind, I always say this to people, is beer league or bust. And beer league, if you're not familiar with it, beer league is just slang, hockey slang. It's probably slang for like softball, but it's just adult. A league for an adult to continue to play the sport that they love. So if there's an adult league in your area, it's beer league, and that's what you want. You want your youth player, when they age out, that they continue to want to go to the rink. Not me, but the association my son was in his junior year, they ended up playing 62 games in, was it October, November to March. So 5 months they played 62 games. Every weekend they were playing 4 games a weekend practically. It was insane. And he had to take a full year off. He was so sick of hockey. So it almost drove him out of it. But he got the itch back in a year, and then he's been playing adult league ever since. And he loves it. And it's like 20 games a year. It's not a huge commitment. It's just fun. So that's what you want. You want beer league or bust, in my mind. And maybe one step above beer league, they want to coach, which is also great. That's the pay it forward I was talking about earlier. I've said that several times. That's my hope. My son eventually, he's level 1 coach. He's not coaching this year, but hopefully he starts to coach. He has kids of his own, wants to get him in the league and in a hockey if they want to, and then he coaches, which is that's how I stay. I mean, I play adult league, but staying close to my kids, I help coach as much as I can, whenever I can, depending on what's going on with my job. But I get on the ice more than, well, I get on the ice enough. I'm happy. So, but that's the goal. The goal is beer league or bust. The kids stay around. So as a parent, if you can get your kids to that, then you win, in my opinion. All right, that's the end of this video. I appreciate the views. I got a lot of views on my last video. I hope that's a good thing. I hope I'm starting to get better and better at this. YouTubing. I guess I'm kind of a YouTuber. Well, we'll see. I'll keep doing these videos. I guess I don't know how many videos it takes for you to become an official YouTuber. Don't care though. But yeah, appreciate the watches. Hit that like button again. If you have any ideas for videos you want me to do, please let me know. Please send me a message, and I will definitely do it, because I have plenty of ideas, but I don't have any issue shelving some of those ideas for a video that and folks that are watching want me to talk about. So, all right, I think that's all I got. Crisis DN signing out.